Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UK&I Monday Night Skippys live here on RaceSpotTV in support of the Calm Zone, the campaign against living miserably. Tonight it's the fourth race of the season and we are racing for 15 laps around Hockenheimring, but it's not the usual Hockenheimring. We're doing the short A layout tonight. Officially on iRacing it has 13 corners, I count to 11, so we'll have to agree to disagree on that. It's a sunny day, a little bit cloudy. 20 degrees in the air and 26 degrees currently on the track, so it's going to be a very interesting race. Not too slick, so these guys will have to work hard to get the temperature up in their tires to find that optimal grip that they want. The track is 2.64 kilometers in length and we have currently 16 drivers signed up for the race here today. My name is Linus Bergstrom and I'm joined as always by Ryan Walker and Ryan. Simon Edwards. 3 races so far this season, 3 bad results, and he's currently on provisional pole position.
Yeah, absolutely. We've said in the past that qualifying has never been really Simon's strong point, but at the moment at Hockenheim, in the middle of qualifying, he's putting those critics to bed, and at the moment he's currently top of the timesheets like you mentioned, but at the moment he's closely followed by Adam Miles as well.
And to the surprise of absolutely no one, as you can see here, Benny Simonson is leading the championship, but only 7 points ahead of Adam Miles in second and George Mattock in third, with Jan Pattinson in fourth and Nicholas Von Roberts in fifth. But we are only 3 races into the season so far, and Benny Simonson is the only driver to have 2 podium finishes so far this season. He's got a first, a second, and a fifth. But at the moment it is Simon Edwards leading the way here. We still got 1 minute and 14 seconds, 10 seconds now left of this 20-minute qualifying sessions. And when the flag is out, everybody will get a chance to complete their laps. Lap times are just under 1 minute 10 seconds here. Current pole is 108.864. But it's only a couple of hundredths down to Adam Miles in second and then Benny Simonson in third. So championship leader usually qualifies on pole, but then again he has a couple more laps. We're currently on board here with Adam Miles behind. I believe that is it's pretty hard to see who that is. It's a blue car, might be Nathan Wade, but we'll have to see. Coming around here onto or into the little arena section, back onto the GP layout as Will Redford just moved up into second place, 3 1/1000ths of a second behind Simon Edwards, who keeps his pole position lap time for now. So that's going to move Adam Miles down to third, but we'll have to see what happens when he comes around this time. 22 1/1000ths of a second is what he has to improve by to get pole position. Here he comes onto the start finish straight away, and the finish line is pretty late down here, right there, and he will not improve. He will miss it by 0.3 of a second, but he still has 1 more lap to go. I'm not sure if he crossed the line before the time was up or not, but here is Will Redford looking to improve by just a few 1/1000ths of a second, and that would be pretty cool to see. Will getting back at the front of the field, having had a pretty good start to this season, even though he missed the first race. He came back to Sonoma and won that, and then last week he had a bit of an incident, so he's not got any more drop weeks to use as he pulls into the pits there. Benny Simonson coming across the line here without an improvement, so he will start in fourth unless Nicholas Von Roberts or somebody else can come across the line and beat him. Here is Nathan Wade coming around the last few corners. He's got 2 right-handers to go, and he's got a train of cars behind him as well. He's currently down in 7th. Right behind him is the trying to see the number of that car. Everything is moving so quick. We'll have to see when they come across the line what happens here. Nathan Wade, he will not improve though. Neither will the cars behind him, so no movements there. And with the clock winding down, still 20 seconds for the last couple of cars to make it across the line, but I think everybody has completed their laps. Unless we are missing something. Let's just have a quick look around the track here, and no, there are no cars left on the track, so qualifying is over. And Simon Edwards has scored the pole position here with a 108.865, only 3 1/1000ths of a second ahead of Will Redford in second. So that's going to be a great race between those two. Then Adam Miles in third, Benny Simonson in fourth, Nicholas Von Roberts in fifth, all within 1/10 of a second, and George Mattock in 6th, still looking for that first win here in the Monday Night Skippies. Nathan Wade in 7th, Ewan Pattinson all the way down in 8th, Seth Brown in 9th, Dave Bowson in 10th, Ray Peasley in 11th, Daniel Tufts in 12th, Patrick Bennett 13th, Tim Adcock in 14th, David Clapham 15th, and Alan Patterson is in 16th, and he will round out the field. So another small grid here today. We'll have to hope that that is because of the lovely weather that we have here this summer, and possibly some people being unable to race following probably some partying happening last night around a football game. But Ryan, it's pretty new track on iRacing, this Hockenheimring, and this short layout. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, it's not been around that long, this Hockenheim track, and I don't think we've ever used this layout with Skippys anyway. I know in another league that I race with this car, we used the full layout, but I think it's the first time we've used this short layout in a league, as far as I'm aware.
We did use the full layout of the track last season, which gave us some amazing racing, a lot of drafting, so not as much drafting here, but still some straightaways to go down, and that start-finish straight definitely going to bring some action. So we get more laps and quite a lot of overtaking opportunities on this short layout, so we'll have to see how that plays out. We're still waiting for car 7th on the grid there to get on the grid, 24, Nathan Wade, and he has joined. So the lights should start to come on any minute now. There they are, the engines are revving and the green lights are on, and we are racing here at Hockenheimring, and it looks like Alan Patterson at the back did not get going, but at the front it is Simon Edwards taking the lead with Will Redford right behind, and Adam Miles in 3rd. Simonson gets a good start back there in 4th as well. He will have a look up the inside though of Adam Miles and takes 3rd away from him straight away. You can see that short run there from turn 1 down to turn 2. Comes almost straight away, but here they still go now side by side for 3rd. That's Mon Roberts behind in 5th. Redford had a look on the outside of Simon Edwards for the lead as well, but he backed out, and Simonson with a massive dive as Nicholas von Roberts goes off into the grass onto the drag strip, and that will drop him all the way down to last place as he parks on the side of the road. Not really sure what happened there, but we have a side by side for 5th now between George Mattock and Nathan Wade. That's Mattock on the inside, and he will go wide, and here comes Wade, comes through again, and Pattinson is there as well, getting involved, wanting to get some positions, but Wade is through on Mattock up into 5th place. Great pass there, all of them going really wide there over the curb in the final corner as well, and this will complete the first lap. So it's a really short lap here, and not sure what happened to Nicholas von Roberts, but he has retired the car, and Alan Patterson back there, who missed the start, has dropped back a bit from the field as well, but the front 13 still in a long line here. As we saw, that was probably Nathan Wade, I believe, got a little bit wide off turn 1 there and got a bit sideways, but good start here for the top 4 so far.
Yeah, it's been a clean start for them at the moment, and it's still Edwards leading from Redford, from Simonson and Miles, and the top 4 are starting to slowly break away from the rest of the pack behind. The next car behind is Nathan Wade, who's got a bit of a pack of cars behind him, but it looks like we've got a chance for the lead heading into the stadium section. Is it Will Redford up the inside? Yes, it is. Can he get the move done? As Edwards will be on the inside for the hairpin, the turn 9 hairpin. He's up the inside, so he might be able to keep the lead, but he runs wide and barges Redford off the track ever so slightly.
Simonson there as well, trying to capitalize, and Redford somehow gets back up the inside of Simon Edwards. It's going to be sideways around there as well, but nice save from him. That's going to keep them side by side still, but Edwards should have the speed coming off the corner. Now here comes Simonson with the look up the inside of Will Redford, and Simonson will most likely get up into 2nd here unless Redford can have a massive speed on the outside, but Simonson with the advantage of the inside, and you can see the short run down to turn number 2 as here comes Miles up the inside. He's going to back out. Those are 3 wide, but they're still side by side for 2nd, and Simon Edwards is loving this. Do that for a few more corners and Edwards will be out of drafting range, but then again, Edwards is here for the fun racing, not to dominate and win, so maybe if he pulls away too much he might slow down a little bit to get some battling going. But Simonson gets through their own Will Redford as they go out onto the normal GP layout again and back into the stadium section. Now see if Simonson can catch up to Simon Edwards, or if Redford will make a move back, and this battling is letting Wade, Pattinson, Mattock, Brown and Dowson catch back up to this front, these front 4 guys to make this lead group 9 cars again. And then there's a bit of a gap down to Tubbs, Peasley, Bennett and Adcock, who's running 10th through 13th. Sideways again there, this time it's Benny Simonson coming around the final corner. Looks like they're lacking a little bit of grip there when you go a little bit too tight around that second to last turn. Coming into the final corner, and here is Will Redford now up the inside of Simonson, trying to do back to Benny what he did on the last time by, and he gets through pretty easily there. Now Simonson has to look back up the inside, backs out of it, and Miles is there on the outside of Simonson, almost gets runs into the back of Simonson, and that's going to cost him some speed. Nathan Wade now up next to him, battling for 4th. Looks like Wade might actually come through here, as no, he backs out and gives Miles that position back. But Simon Edwards, 0.6 of a second now down to Will Redford in second, with that battling going on behind.
Yep, absolutely. Let's head through turn 8, or the Mobile 1 curve as it is normally called, into the stadium section, and Ryder on board with Miles at the moment in 4th place. He's right behind this feisty battle of Redford and Simonson, so he's probably just watching what these guys are going to do at the moment. But Adam Miles, on the other hand, he can't afford to be too complacent, because he's got Ewan Patterson, George Mattock and Nathan Wade and a few other cars in this battle as well, so might be a battle for the lead, but it's also basically a big pack basically a big pack of cars at the moment. So at the moment it's still really close as we ride on board with Patterson heading through turn 1.
Will Redford there as well with the fastest lap of the race, 109.850. Simon Edwards was faster, but he did get an incident, so that lap didn't score, and Simon Edwards still hasn't scored a single timed lap 4 laps into this event. So Will Redford with the official fastest lap of the race so far. Simon Edwards though still holding on to that lead, but Redford is slightly closing in now every lap, about half a tenth to a tenth. So he's getting the draft down the straightaways, and you can visibly see now the gap has come down, and the train all the way down to 9th with David Dowson is with these leaders. There's a bit of a gap from 6th down to 7th, but they're still within touching distance should something happen up ahead. Adam Miles here looking to get up to Benny Simonson, who's still looking to find a way past Will Redford, and here is Pattinson on the back of Nathan Wade for 5th place. See if he can get a move done here and start moving up the order. Pattinson started all the way down in 8th. I don't think last week he didn't have that good of a qualifying either. I believe it was maybe 2 weeks ago. But we're used to seeing him up at the front as well, as Benny Simonson sets the fastest lap of the race there with a 109.350. Will Redford was 2/1000ths of a second faster, but it didn't count because he had an off track, and looks like Nathan Wade is losing pace there. Might have got a bit of a slowdown, or might have just been a bit too wide, but here we go side by side for second now. Benny Simonson up on the inside of Will Redford, coming around the next corner. It's going to be a double right-hander here as they make contact again. Redford goes out towards the wall, but he manages to hold on to it. So Adam Miles is going to come through as well. Pattinson is right there as well, but he will stay back in 5th place. Here comes Miles now on Simonson, trying to capitalize twice over, but up into 3rd for Adam Miles for now, trying to get to work on Benny Simonson unless Will Redford can get back. I don't think he got any damage from that. It was a very, very light contact. But when these wheels touch, it kind of sends your car flying sideways, and saw the battle earlier there as well between Peasley, Tubbs and Bennett, 10th, 11th and 12th, as we get a replay here of the 15 and the 42. And great job there from Will Redford to keep that car out of the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. That could have ended up in even worse disaster as this lead pack heads through turn 1 now, but these guys up at the front scrapping away amongst themselves in 2nd and 3rd place. That's pretty much allowing Simon Edwards just to take advantage of that and build up a bit of a gap. He's got that lead up to about 1.2 seconds now. So these guys scrapping away, it's just basically they're costing themselves or shooting themselves in the foot, if you like. As we look further back in the field, we've got this battle still going on as well. And if these guys keep scrapping away amongst themselves, they'll lose contact with the lead pack. But at the moment, it seems they're kind of working together by the looks of it.
Mattock and Wade doing the best they can to catch back up to Ewan Pattinson in 5th there, and George Mattock desperately wanting another top 5 here on the season. He has a 2nd place finish and then 2 5th place finishes, wanting to improve on that, wanting to get back on that podium, but For now, he's actually running to his, if he finishes where he is now, that'll be his worst result of the season in 6th, which still isn't bad, and he is 3rd in the championship, so he's his closest competitor is Adam Miles. He will want to get up to him, see what can happen there, but Miles currently running in 3rd, so that's not going to help Matek, who loses out of position there to Nathan Wade with a nice little move up the inside. 2nd place battle still going here as well. Here's Redford going for 3rd on Adam Miles, but Miles will have the inside for the next corner. Last time Redford was in this position, he got hit towards the wall. He will try the crossover this time though, so he'll have the inside on Miles, who touches the wall by himself there. Redford up the inside, contact again, and that's going to send Miles into the gravel. Back up onto the track, here comes Pattinson, but he will get through without further incident, and Miles will rejoin in 5th, possibly getting back up to 4th. They're side by side here for 4th place, but now it's going to be double inside for Pattinson, so it looks like he might be able to get through. Nathan Wade coming back there as well, as he's taken off a bit from George Matek. But Pattinson gets through there, so Adam Miles loses out 2 positions at once there after a little bit of contact with Will Redford. Looking back here from Pattinson now on to the nose cone of Adam Miles as we come on to lap number 9 of 15. The laps are absolutely flying by here. You can see them abusing the curve there, coming out of turn number 1 down to turn number 2, a bit sideways there for Miles. Looks a bit more in control there for Pattinson, but Benny Simonson up in 2nd place, 1.37 seconds now behind Simon Edwards, and Simon Edwards has set the fastest lap of the race as well a couple of laps ago, so looks like he might be on his way for his first win of the season, which would also make him the 4th winner in 4 races, which would be pretty good to see.
Yeah, absolutely would. There's still Simonson and Redford going at it into the turn 9 hairpin and through the stadium section as well. And I think Simonson and Redford are pretty much at this point of time, it's pretty much gloves off, and they're going at it. But as we've seen a few times, or a couple of times anyway, we've seen the Simonson and Redford have contact and luckily get away with it.
As long as you keep the contact light, it's fine. But if you do it a little bit too hard, wheels are going to go flying, nose cones will be falling off, and Ewan Pattinson has set the first lap under 1 minute 9 seconds here with 108.967, fastest car on the track at the moment in 4th place. And the gap to the leaders has come down by about a 10th that time around for Benny Simonson, but 1.2 seconds still, so still a lot of work to be done there. And Simon Edwards looking in control here. He has a little bit of the wider entry, but he doesn't have to defend from the car behind. Well, Benny Simonson wants to take the optimal line. He can't open the door up too much, because then Will Redford will get straight in there, unless they've talked to each other and decided to try and catch back up to Simon Edwards. But I think if Will Redford gets one opportunity, he's definitely going to throw the car up the inside and try and get that 2nd place back, because he is in desperate need of points if he wants to climb in the championship standings. Pattinson right behind Will Redford there as well, and then Adam Miles behind him, and then a couple of tenths further back we had Nathan Wade there in 6th place in that purple car. And then a bit of a gap down to Matt Brown and Dowson running 7th, 8th and 9th a little bit further back. But this time around looks like Pattinson is going to improve on his fastest lap from last time around by a few 100ths of a second. Still right on the back of Will Redford. Redford locks up slightly there, gets a bit sideways as well. Weird combination. But Pattinson not close enough to make a move yet. I don't know if he's just waiting for something to happen up ahead, but he's not throwing his car up the inside, not wanting to compromise their speed. And the gap between Simonson and Edwards is now right on the 1 second mark. So a little bit more and they will start to get a massive amount of draft, especially coming down the front straightaway, which isn't that long, so it won't help you that much, but every little helps, as they say over in England. So we'll have to see if Benny can get up there or not, but otherwise it looks like Simon Edwards is still pretty much in control. Will Redford now onto the back of Benny Simonson again. It's going to be 4 laps to go this time. Benny Simonson has a bit of a wiggle there coming around the last 2 corners again. We've seen a lot of that, and then wide over onto the AstroTurf. Now Will Redford onto the back. Will he make a move? He's going to just stay behind. So actually looks like they're kind of working together to catch up to Benny Simonson as Ewan Pattinson improves on his lap again by about 8 1,000ths of a second.
Yep, and I think these 3 guys have pretty much I don't think they've said anything to each other, but I think they're kind of just decided to not fight each other as hard as they've managed to get that gap down to Edwards in front of them to about 0.8 of a second. But I think at this point of the race, Simon might just be controlling that gap. But on the other hand, he might just be, I don't know, he might just be, might have lost his pace a little bit. But on the other hand, these guys are just pretty much closing up to him, and I think we could be on for a 4-car scrap for the lead in the closing stages of this race, as we're just about to come to the end of lap 12, and Redford is right behind Simonson heading through the final few corners.
So a bit of a lock up there from Edwards as well, going into the left-hand hairpin, as well as Adam Miles clipping that wall again, coming onto the GP layout halfway around the lap. So he's pushing as hard as he can to keep up with these 4 guys ahead of him, but he's just not making it happen. Nathan Wade now onto the back of Adam Miles as well, but these guys here, these 3 of Benny Simonson, Will Redford and Ewan Pattinson, they're doing everything they can to catch back up the lead. Here comes Will Redford up the inside, contact with Benny Simonson, will get Redford up into second. Pattinson is going to be up next to him as well now for third, so that might cost Benny Simonson 2 positions, and Pattinson had the fastest lap again that time around. Now Simonson with the inside, Pattinson with the inside for the next corner, then a short straightaway, and then another right-hander with a crossover from Simonson, back up the inside of Pattinson. This is letting Redford pull away slightly as well. Simonson takes back third position, but now Adam Miles and Nathan Wade is right back in this battle again. But that one move from Will Redford to take second away from Benny Simonson opened up the gap to Simon Edwards by 0.3 again, so it's now up to 0.8 of a second. Redford has closed it down again to 7 though. Coming onto the straightaway here, we'll see if it comes down some more, but it's going to be 2 laps to go here at Hockenheim, and this is the gap between second and third, and then just ahead there you see Simon Edwards. So will Redford be able to catch up, or did that one move allow Simon Edwards the lead that he needs? Here they come again into turn number 2. No moves being made this time, but Benny Simonson desperately looking to get back up to Will Redford.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Benny's he's got to think about the championship as well. He can't afford to do anything too hasty or take any risks, but he's right on board with Nathan Wade at the moment, currently looking in front of him at the battle for second place in front of him, or effectively the lead as well, because this pack is again closing Edwards down. But at this point I think Simon's just kind of maintaining that gap, maintaining the pace, and as the next time around will be the final lap. So I think at this point of the race on the final lap, don't be surprised if you see some people trying to send it.
Coming around the final corners for the penultimate time, it's going to be white flag and 1 lap to go. The gap between Simon Edwards and Will Redford for the lead has come down to 0.454 seconds, so just over half a second. I don't think that's going to be enough for Will Redford if Simon Edwards can just keep all 4 wheels on the track. But right behind Will Redford is Benny Simonson. He's looking. Oh, Redford gets really, really close to Edwards there. Edwards takes a wider line though, so he will have the overspeed. Coming across the shortcut here, across the infield, coming up towards the left-hander, and then a double right onto the GP layout. Will Redford be able to do anything here? Looks like Simonson is right on the back as well. Oh, he locks up. He locks up and he's wide. He's going to collect some cones. That's going to let Pattinson, Miles and Nathan Wade come through. Simonson avoids the wall, but he will drop down to 6th place, and that is it for him. But here comes Will Redford. He has a look to the outside, back to the inside. He is not close enough to make a move though. He might be able to set him up going into the final corner somehow. Here he is. He has a peek up the inside. They're going to be side by side into the final 2 corners, but inside line for Simon Edwards. We might see a crossover here from Will Redford, but Simon Edwards has control. Redford goes wide. He will have the overspeed. Here he comes into the draft. Which way will he go? I don't think it's going to be enough. Simon Edwards is going to take the checkered flag and win at Hockenheim. Will Redford in second, and Pattinson back up to 3rd place from starting 8th. What a move. Benny Simonson drops down to 6th, and then George Mattock wins that battle in the second group behind. And then we have Peasley, Bennett and Tuff still going at it for 10th here, coming around the final few corners. See if we can get that as just as they cross the line there. Peasley beats the other 2, Bennett and Tuff side by side across the line, but Ray Peasley finishing inside the top 10 there. But what a race for the lead, and Will Redford giving it everything he had at the end. They're getting up next to Simon Edwards through the last couple of corners, just wasn't enough, and Well, this race kind of flew by, Ryan, but we saw some great racing as well. Simon Edwards, though, comes home with the victory, less than 1/10 of a second ahead of Will Redford. Ewan Pattinson from 8th place up to 3rd, making no mistakes all race long, setting the fastest lap. What a race from him. Adam Miles in 4th, Nathan Wade in 5th. Benny Simonson drops down to 6th there on the last lap. Not sure if he ran into the back of Will Redford or not. We'll have to look back to that. And then George Mattock wins the battle in the second group to get 7th, with Seth Brown in 8th and Damon Dowson in 9th. And then, as we saw the end there, Ray Peasley comes home with the final spot inside the top 10, with Patrick Bennett and Daniel Tubbs behind in 11th and 12th. Tim Adcock in 13th, David Clapham 14th, and Alan Patterson in 15th. Nicholas Roberts, I think he had some connection issues because he left the session, came back in, did a few laps and then parked it. So he will officially finish 10 laps down, which is unfortunate since he started 5th and he's had a good season so far, Nicholas Roberts, but his 2 drop weeks will be used up already with today's results. And we're gonna start off with bringing our second place finisher, Will Redford, in here. Will, that was an exciting race all the way through, and one more lap and I think you might have had something for Simon. What happened there?
Yeah, I mean, this track is very hard to pass and it's very hard to catch someone because, you know, the draft pretty much does nothing. So me and Benny kind of fighted maybe a bit too much, or fought a bit too much when we were behind Simon, so we let him build a gap, and then it was just, you know, we had to spend ages trying to chase him down, like half tenth. I mean, eventually we did get in the tow and get a bit closer, but too late by then to really set up a move.
Looked like great racing between you guys, though, but then about halfway through the race it looked like you all decided just to stay in line and try to catch up. Is that what happened there?
Yeah, pretty much. Simon had broken the toe over Benny, so we knew if we wanted any chance of winning, we had to, you know, just hold back and make sure Benny could run his max pace, and he did, and we caught back up. And it was like, that's the time I thought, okay, I've got to go for the move now if I want any chance of the win, otherwise I'm going to be stuck in 3rd. So I did, and I got past Benny just. I think I might have had a little contact, but nothing too bad. And then Benny tried to really send it on the last lap, and I think he maybe outbraked himself a little bit and nearly ran into me.
Yeah, he locked up a little bit there, but thankfully he did not collect you, so let us have a little bit of a race for the win there. But still, second place is, I think, a good result considering you've already used up your 2 drop weeks. So a first and a second so far should put you in contention for the championship if you keep doing well. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we'll let you go?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for the broadcast. It's always top notch. Shout out to my dad. He's not racing this week. And shout out to my sponsors, Nest in the Woods.
And congratulations to you guys on a well executed 24 hours, unless you crashed in the last couple of hours. I'm not really sure what happened, but it looked like you had a good run anyway.
We were like 2 laps ahead of everyone and then got GTE'd and then
Ouch.
dropped back. So we had 8 minutes of repairs, and then we brought it back to nearly 3rd place and got LMP2'd by a lapped car, and then brought it home in 4th, like 3 minutes back from 3rd or something.
Oh well, that's 24-hour racing. Anyway, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on a good result.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Ryan Walker standing by with top 5 finisher Nathan Wade.
Yeah, Nathan started in 7th and finished in 5th place in the end. And Nathan, you were pretty much involved in that lead pack for most of the race. And what was your game plan during the race? Was it kind of, if you saw an opportunity, go for it, or just see how it pans out and just aim to finish? What was it? What was the aim? And also, what do you think of this Hockenheim layout?
Hi guys. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with my result. I did think I could have been higher up, but this track is just so difficult to overtake on. And I was trying to be quite cautious as well, because I had a pretty tragic first few laps. I was all over the place and I don't know why, which set me back a little bit because I did get a slowdown. That's after I went up to 5th, went back down to 7th, I think, but managed to stay in 6th for most of the race until Benny had his moment on the last lap. But other than that, not much really happened for me. I was just sort of hugging on the back of that pack, just trying to hope that people made small mistakes which would lead or leave an open door. So yeah, unlucky really.
Yeah, I mean, still P5's a great result, but like you say, that you could have done better, but it's still points in the championship. And talking of the championship as well, what's your aims and expectations? I can't remember if I've asked you already this season so far.
No, you haven't already asked. But I'm not too worried about the championship this season because I'm not going to be able to do quite a few of the races. But obviously the ones I do, I still want to see whereabouts I finish, and I still want to, if I can, try and finish top 10, even with extra drop weeks. So that's my plan.
Good stuff. And yeah, just the last question as well. Would you like to see this Hockenheim layout back on the schedule in the future, or do you prefer the full Grand Prix layout?
I really like the Grand Prix layout. It's probably one of my favourite tracks on iRacing. But I do also like this track. I don't know why. It's nice having a quick track, quick lap times, and because it's hard to overtake it. It does kind of, what's the word? Can't think of the word that I'm trying to think of. But you get a lot of like tight side by side racing around here, and it does cause some fun races. So I would like to see it return, to be honest.
And lastly, before we let you go, Nathan, anyone that you want to give a shout out to quickly?
Just you guys for running the broadcast always. You always do a great job. And Alan, of course, for running the league. And shout out to Simon for the win there, actually.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on P5, Nathan, and we look forward to seeing you on track next week.
Cheers, guys.
As I believe up next, Linus, you have got the race winner Simon Edwards review.
PSI.
We do, as always. Simon Edwards back here in the broadcasting booth, and finally, Simon, a result, and it's not just any result, it's a win. Congratulations. Race might not have been as exciting as you usually want them to be, but still, coming home with the victory has to feel good.
Yeah, that's as exciting as I want them to be if I'm going to win. I hadn't done any laps all week apart from a TT just to see what the track was like. So I came in cold, but I seemed to have the pace. I was just struggling through one corner really, and that's what let them back in the draft on me. But it was just enough to get to that last lap really, and Will didn't throw it at me, which I was very grateful of.
Yeah, it looked like they were fighting pretty hard there to catch up, and I thought at one bit there you were managing the gap, but when they got in the draft, the gap just seemed to disappear. But how, obviously you haven't done any laps like you said around this track, but before you managed to break away there, how was it racing cars around this track compared to the big normal layout?
Well, I quite like it when it's difficult to overtake, even if I'm the overtaker, and this is one of those tracks where it's actually, if you've got careful people around you, which I haven't been that careful in the last couple of races, so I better mind what I say, but then it can be great fun to go side by side around here, because you can go side by side virtually the whole track trying to make the pass work, so it can be really good. Like I say, I've not done this version of the track, but I've done the other version of the track, so all the end of it is the same. And I quite liked it then, even though it's an F1 track and they normally don't go well with a skip, but it's not too bad.
A lot of drafting always makes for some exciting racing, so anybody you want to give a shout out to before we'll let you go? I already know what you're going to say, but I have to ask anyway. Yeah,
it's written all over your broadcast, but Masternaut, my sponsor, is always one to mention, and I'm going to go for you guys again, and Alan as usual. There we go. Don't you can't say I don't stay consistent.
Well, you're consistently coming back in here as well, which we appreciate. So thanks for that, Simon, and thank you for taking your time to talk to us again, and congratulations again on your victory. And finally, we have Ryan standing by with George Mattock.
Yeah, George finishing in 7th place in the end, and George, you were in that league pack for the whole race, and that it looked to be pretty intense but good fun.
Yeah, hey guys. Yeah, it was a weird race actually. I had really good pace in qualifying, and had a decent position of 6th. Could have been better, but a decent position. And the car just felt completely different going into the race. It was really strange. I just had no grip anywhere. It wasn't rotating as I wanted it to. I know cold tires makes a difference, but this was next level. It was really strange. Yeah, I had a bit of frame dropping here and there, so I went through turn 1 and had some weird moments and got up some wing damage, and that was my race over once Nathan got past me because I had a slowdown. So yeah, pretty lonely at the end. I was just towing Seth and Dave behind me, but couldn't catch up.
Yeah, I was asking Nathan about this track as well, and what's your views on this track? Is this Hockenheim track? Do you think it suits the Skippy, and would you like to see it back in the schedule in future seasons?
I'm gonna say no because I was slow. So no, I this layout is poor. I don't like this layout because you just can't overtake unless you send it and the other guy basically backs out. So it's difficult to race on. I really like the GP circuit. GP circuit I went really well here last season. Probably could have been on the podium or won, but yeah, I think that the longer circuit is better than this. This one's just too short.
And then looking ahead to Road Atlanta next week, it's a track it's normally we would use the full layout, but next week it's a short layout. Much experience at that track?
I think we did race last year at the full circuit, the full course, but before that I've never driven it, so this will be a new one for me, new track. I think it's a different, shorter layout as well, so another short one. Hopefully you can actually overtake on that one. But yeah, it'll just be a case of trying to learn it through the week and see what happens next week, try and pick up as many points as possible. Lost a bit of ground to Adam and Benny today, but hopefully can be back in the mix next week.
And I've asked you this before, but before we let you go, George, anyone that you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out, of course, goes to you guys first and foremost for the broadcast. A lot of hard work into a quality broadcast like this. Of course, Alan for running the league, and yeah, just those guys. Thanks.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on the 7th place, George, and look forward to seeing you on track at Road Atlanta next week.
Thank you for that, Ryan, George, Nathan, Simon, and Will Redford. Next week, like you said, we're heading to Road Atlanta, but it is the short layout, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when you're coming up over the hill, instead of going left, you're going straight, and then straight onto the back straightaway, so we're losing out on the best bit of drafting on that track, but it's still going to be some pretty big drafting going on down there, and coming up over the hill, I wouldn't be surprised to see some cars throwing the cars at each other. Have you got any experience in the Skippys around there, Ryan?
Only on the full layout, but I've never raced. I've raced in the short layout before, but with a different car. But it's still a fun layout. And I think next week it should be a close and a fun race, especially with that back straight. Providing some drafting, probably not as effective as it would be on the full layout, but nevertheless, it should be a good race and one that I'm looking forward to.
It definitely will be, hopefully. Hopefully we'll get a few more drivers as well, but that is in 1 week's time. So thank you for joining us here tonight. You have been watching the UK&I Monday Night Skippys on RaceSpotTV in support of the Calm Zone, the campaign against living miserably. My name is Linus Broström, joined as always by Ryan Walker, with Hugo Luis doing the amazing job on the cameras once again. So thanks for joining us, and until next week, take care everybody and stay safe, and goodbye.